What's going on, everyone? Grimsy Finds here, back with another video. Today I want to cover a question that I had when I was first starting out is, where do you source for inventory for eBay? When I first dived into reselling and collecting, it was about 2011, 12. I have some old videos on this YouTube channel still. I was a lot more chunkier, was very camera shy. I did research and learn back then. I know stuff now that I wish I knew back then. If I was to advise myself, and maybe if you need help, please watch this video and learn from it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Remember to thumbs up the video and like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. And without further ado, let's start. So there are a couple ways to source. I'm gonna name some obvious ones that you might already know. The number one way to source for inventory is garage sales, yard sales. That's your best bet to get them for cheap. That's your best bet to get a whole bunch of inventory at once and for a cheap price. You will have to learn how to haggle, talk pricing when you're doing garage sales, because a lot of times people want you to make them an offer, and that's one of the things that I will have to cover in a future video, is how to haggle. But that's one of the things you have to learn, is how to haggle. And also, more importantly, is what inventory do you want to work with? Do you want to work with video games? Do you want to work with toys and action figures? Do you want to work with, Barbie dolls? Do you want to work with manga, anime? What do you want to work with? And especially if you're being an eBay reseller, you need to broaden your eyes and your scope, because if you're going to be a full-time eBay reseller, you do need to not have so much of a niche, I feel, because there's only so much of one thing you're gonna find. For example, my niche was video games, but as you know, the competition is insane now, so it's very hard to beat people all the time for video game stuff. So I had to broaden my scope, and now I'm dabbling with toys, I'm dabbling with American Girl dolls, I'm dabbling with a bunch of other stuff I never would have thought I would have broadened my scope to. That's another thing you need to do. Are you a part-time reseller, or are you a full-time reseller? If you are a part-time reseller, then yes, work on your niche. Maybe that's all you want to do, and that's fine, because it is a side hustle if you're a part-time reseller. But if you're a full-time reseller, once again, you do need to dive and broaden your horizons. And so one way to do that is watching YouTubers. I think I mentioned this in another video, but that is a super awesome way to learn about what sells, what is a good investment, what will sit, what do you want to sell fast. There's YouTubers I can name like 5 in a dozen. Definitely check out YouTube in the search bar, what sells on eBay, and I'm sure you'll pop up some awesome videos on that. Hopefully you're learning stuff from my channel as well, because I am learning with you guys on a lot of stuff, like the haul I had for the action figures and toys. My knowledge of that was super small, so definitely take advantage of those situations. So another way to source is estate sales. Now you might be saying, Grimsy, estate sales are like yard sales? No. So these ones are hosted by a company normally, and the company will post online, usually estatesales.net or Craigslist or something. They'll post an announcement about their estate sale, and they'll include a bunch of pictures. Now the estate sales, the luxury of it is that they have tons and tons of pictures on their website, so you can see, is this going to be worth my trip? Is there stuff I want to buy in this? One of the estate sales I found recently, I found some video games and anime statues, so that one was worth for me, and I found it through the pictures on estatesales.net. So had it not been for that website, I would have never found it. So that's definitely another way to source. Now, I'm not saying all estate sales post on there. There's different ways they post. That's also on the local newspaper where they post. There's also, if you search Google estate sales near me, and then a list pops up, that's another way to find estate sales. Mind you, estate sales do have a bad side, and usually it's they know what they have, or somewhat what they have, or they overprice something. So there's also that negative to it, but usually the second day they lower their price, and the third day they really lower their price. The risk with that is if there's a hot item in there, people might buy it the first day. So everyone's experience is different, but that's what I would do for sourcing on estate sales. Definitely look at the pictures, see if you want to go, and if they have what you go, I would go the first day, because you never know, someone might buy it and then you'll lose out on that. The third way to source that I would say is Facebook. So there's two entities in Facebook. There's Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace. So both have worked for me in the past. Facebook group, just join, what I did was join a bunch of yard sale slash whatever I like to sell groups. So I have some yard sale groups where they post like, oh, you don't have a yard sale here. They might post pictures, Or I mean, let's say if you're looking for yard sales and you don't know where to look for, the groups will definitely help you find some yard sales. For Marketplace, of course, everyone knows Marketplace. Maybe you can find a super awesome deal. The problem with Marketplace nowadays is that it's turning more into like an OfferUp slash eBay slash Craigslist kind of deal, where it's like it's almost not worth looking at almost, but there is still some hidden gems in there, and I have found stuff in the past, so I definitely would still look, if just in case you have the time. I'm gonna combine the last two into the last section because I don't personally use them anymore, but they are a way to find deals, is Craigslist and also OfferUp. So Craigslist I mainly use to find garage sales. That is the main purpose of Craigslist for me. But there also is, as you know, a video game section, a toy section, etc., a resale section on Craigslist where people post and sell. So the reason I steer clear of that is because people know what they have, or they're overpricing their items. So that's why I tend to not look. Now and then there might be a hidden gem in there that someone, you know, might not value what they have so much, but usually when that happens, a bunch of people jump in the pile and message and bombard the seller, and then the seller ends up looking the stuff up and it ends up not working. So there is still a possibility. Just where I live, that's what happens. That's what tends to happen. So I normally steer clear of it. But if you're in a smaller town, that might not happen. So that is an option. And same with OfferUp. OfferUp is another one where there's a lot of resellers trying to resell on there, and buying from a reseller, coming from a reseller, it's not going to work out. Not hating on them, nothing. I'm just saying, buying from a reseller to resell, it's not going to work out usually. So, but again, in a small town, or you know, maybe in a big city too, you never know, there might be some good deals on there. So definitely wanted to point those out. But those are the different ways I source and what I've learned from the past to source. And once again, a lot of it has to do with, you have to dive into it and learn and try it yourself, because if you never do, it's never going to work out. So definitely you have to try it yourself. And I mean, if you are shy, or if you're not a people person, you have to learn how to talk. I myself am an introvert. I don't know if it comes across in the camera, but I am an introvert. I don't like speaking very much. If I don't have to, or if I don't know the people, I tend to not like talking, right? But I've learned to adapt and to talk to people, because if you do not talk to people, then you're not going to get a good deal. You're not going to stumble upon a good deal or make relationships or network, because that's very important as well. Hopefully what I went over in this video helps you guys, and I would have definitely loved to know a bunch about all this stuff, especially when I was starting out, because I was going in blindly. I didn't really know what to do. So hopefully this advice helps you guys. Once again, if you guys enjoyed the video and if this helped you guys, make sure you leave that thumbs up, like the video, and also subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see what I find next. Thanks, guys.